Welcome back to our channel. Today, our rescue team encountered a turtle that appeared more like a forgotten stone than a living creature. Motionless, hidden beneath layers of barnacles and draped in thick mats of algae, it had almost vanished into its surroundings. Its shell had become an island of neglect, a floating relic overtaken by time and silence. At first glance, it was hard to believe it was alive. But then, a small shift, a flicker of movement, the slow rise of its head, told us it hadn't given up. It was still fighting, buried under the weight of what nature had not intended, struggling beneath a living prison of parasitic growth. Barnacles had claimed nearly every inch of its shell. Some were small, encrusted along the surface. Others were massive, deeply embedded, like cruel armor. Algae and moss had wrapped around its flippers and tail, tangling and clinging like heavy green chains. The turtle's eyes, barely visible beneath layers of grime and organic debris, opened only slightly, exhausted from the burden it had been carrying for who knows how long. This wasn't just an animal in distress. This was a soul that had been forgotten, but not anymore. We gently lifted it and began the slow, deliberate journey toward healing. The process wasn't rushed. It couldn't be. With every motion, we reminded this creature that help had arrived, that it no longer had to carry this weight alone. The barnacles were the first to go. Some were easy, flicked away gently with specialized tools after soaking. Others had grown into the shell, requiring careful effort to avoid injury. Each one was a parasite that had robbed the turtle of energy, mobility, and peace. Removing them was like peeling away layers of suffering. Then came the algae, layer after layer. It sloughed away with warm water and patient brushing. Beneath the green mess, a beautiful pattern of shell emerged. Natural, intricate, and full of life. It had been hidden for so long, buried beneath neglect and the slow chokehold of invasive growth. The shell was scarred but intact. The flippers were strained but functional. The turtle had held on despite the odds, despite the pain, despite the weight. We treated its wounds, sores where barnacles had penetrated, abrasions from tangled debris, minor infections festering beneath algae-covered skin. Antibiotics, fluids, rest. Slowly, it began to respond. It moved more. It swam. It lifted its head and looked at us, not with fear, but with something resembling trust. What led to this state? Perhaps it had been ill. Perhaps it had been injured or caught in plastic waste. When a turtle is weakened, barnacles and algae seize the opportunity. They attach and grow, multiplying until the animal can barely move, barely eat, barely live. This is not rare. It happens every day in oceans, rivers, lakes. Turtles suffer in silence, their pain invisible unless someone chooses to look closely. That's why our work matters. But more importantly, this is why everyone's work matters. Rescue isn't just the job of one team. It's a responsibility shared by everyone who cares about life, about nature, about the creatures that don't have a voice to cry for help. We live in a world overflowing with human-made threats. Plastic waste, fishing gear, oil spills, chemical runoff, they all contribute to the slow destruction of habitats. They leave animals vulnerable, weak, and eventually consumed by opportunistic parasites like barnacles and algae. When a turtle suffers, it doesn't cry out. It just stops moving. It stops eating. It sinks deeper into the background until it disappears. But that is not the end of the story, unless we let it be. This turtle reminded us of the resilience of life and the quiet strength of those who endure. It reminded us that even under layers of pain and neglect, there's still a beating heart. There's still a will to live. And it reminded us of our power. The power to intervene, to care, to clean, to restore. Every barnacle removed was a small act of healing. Every patch of algae brushed away was a moment of return. Every wound treated was a whisper that said, "You're not alone anymore." When we released the turtle into clean water, free from its burdens, it didn't just swim, it soared. Its flippers cut through the water with grace and freedom. Its body lighter, stronger. It dove and circled, as if rediscovering what it meant to move without pain. Its eyes were clear, alert, alive. This is why we do what we do, and this is why you matter too. You can make a difference by choosing how you live. Reduce plastic, reuse bags, recycle properly, support conservation efforts, educate others. Never leave fishing lines, hooks, or nets behind. What seems like a small action to you can mean life or death for a turtle. Protecting the environment isn't just about saving trees or oceans. It's about saving the lives within them. Lives like this turtle's. Lives that carry the quiet beauty of nature. Lives that, when nurtured, remind us of everything good still possible in this world. So let this be more than just a story. Let it be a call to action. Every turtle saved, every barnacle removed, every algae mat peeled away is not just healing for them. It is healing for us. It is a reminder of compassion, responsibility, and the difference love can make. We can choose to look away, or we can choose to help. We chose to help today, and we will choose to help again tomorrow. Because for every turtle weighed down, there's a chance to lift it. For every burden carried in silence, there's someone willing to listen, to see, to act. Let's be those people. Let's be the reason another life gets to swim again, free, unburdened, and alive. Let's leave a legacy not of waste, but of wonder. Let's be the hands that heal the wounds we once ignored. And in doing so, we will not only save them, we will save the best parts of ourselves.